With high-tech barriers, a 97% reduction in illegal border crossings, and a 55% increase in drug seizures, the United States is not only strengthening its border but also sending a message of unity and responsibility. Subscribe to the channel for the latest updates. The U.S.-Mexico border, stretching 1,954 miles, has long been a nexus of immigration, smuggling, and security challenges. From rudimentary patrol operations in the 20th century to fencing projects in the 1990s and the Secure Fence Act of 2006, the U.S. has continually sought to control illegal flows of people and goods. During President Donald Trump's first term, 458 miles of barriers were constructed, marking significant progress. The Biden administration, 2021 to 2025, paused these projects, prioritizing technology and international cooperation, but a surge in migrant crossings in 2023 led to the resumption of some construction. After his re-election in 2025, Trump declared a national emergency on January 20, 2025, launching a comprehensive strategy, building new barriers, deploying surveillance technology, and enhancing cooperation with Mexico. These efforts aim not only to deter crossings but also to create a secure, sustainable border that respects humanitarian values. A shocking shift is the transformation of the border into a militarized zone. In March 2025, the Trump administration designated a 650-mile strip from Laredo, Texas to Tijuana, California, as a temporary military operational zone. This enabled military deployment. 12,000 troops, including units from Fort Hood and Fort Bliss, were mobilized for patrols and detentions, with an estimated cost of $450 million since January 2025. Military assets: 75 MRAP, mine-resistant. Armored vehicles and 20 Black Hawk helicopters were deployed to support CBP. Deportation flights: C-130 military aircraft conducted 120 deportation flights to Honduras and Guatemala in the first quarter of 2025, though some countries refused to accept them. These actions, according to the White House, aim to protect national sovereignty against threats from drug smuggling and illegal migration. The year 2025 marks a boom in border barrier construction, with advanced designs and unprecedented scale. According to a Department of Homeland Security report, as of April in 2025, the U.S. completed Texas 75 miles of new barriers in Hidalgo, Kinney, and Uvalde counties, costing $3.2 billion. These barriers integrate motion sensors and infrared cameras. Arizona, 22 miles of 35-foot-high barriers near Yuma, started in February 2025, designed to resist climbing and withstand harsh desert conditions. California, 15 miles of smart walls in San Diego, using artificial intelligence to detect crossings, begun in March 2025. In total, the southwest border now has 710 miles of primary barriers and 80 miles of secondary barriers, with ongoing projects to close gaps near Douglas, Arizona, and Del Rio, Texas. These barriers are not just physical structures but integrated surveillance systems, with 600 observation towers and 250 drones. CBP data from April 2025 highlights the effectiveness of security measures. Migrant apprehensions: only 6,500 cases at the southwest border, a 96% drop from 162,500 in April 2024 and 22% lower than 8,346 in March 2025. Drug seizures: CBP seized 820 pounds of fentanyl, a 30% increase from March 2025. Total drug seizures, cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and fentanyl, rose 52%, with cocaine up 40%. Trade: CBP processed 3.2 million import shipments worth $370 billion, collecting $16.5 billion in tariffs. Acting CBP Commissioner Pete Flores stated, "We are achieving comprehensive operational control at the border, with the lowest apprehension numbers in recent history." However, analysts warn that smugglers may shift to maritime or underground routes. The 96% reduction in illegal crossings and 52% increase in drug seizures demonstrate the effectiveness of barriers and militarization. Posts on X reflect support from many Americans, with comments like, "We're finally controlling the border." However, studies from the University of Arizona indicate smugglers are turning to submarines and tunnels, requiring more adaptive strategies. The cost of building barriers and deploying troops poses a significant challenge. Texas has spent $12 billion since 2020, while the federal border security budget for 2025 is estimated at $20 billion. Environmentally, new barriers have destroyed habitats for species like jaguars and monarch butterflies, with small gaps insufficient for large animals to pass. A February 2025 environmental regulation waiver heightened concerns. The closure of asylum pathways and rapid deportations have pushed migrants onto dangerous routes, increasing the risk of death. Cases like Maria Lopez, a Guatemalan mother deported despite seeking asylum, have raised questions about the U.S.'s moral responsibility. Organizations like Amnesty International call for reopening humanitarian programs like the Safe Mobility Initiative. The U.S. border expansion in 2025 is an ambitious new chapter, with high-tech barriers, dense military presence, and aggressive immigration policies. The numbers, 6,500 apprehensions and 820 pounds of fentanyl seized, reflect significant progress, but the financial, ecological, and humanitarian costs are substantial. The border is not just a line but a reflection of U.S. values and priorities. Will this lay the foundation for a secure future or spark new conflicts? Join the discussion to find answers. This article has utilized reliable sources and perspectives from social media to provide a comprehensive view. For a deeper understanding, readers can refer to statements from DHS, CBP, or reports from Reuters, The Guardian, and WOLA.
This convoy stretched out for miles and miles.
The U.S.-Mexico border tells a story of desperation, shifting policies, and a dramatic reversal of migrant flows. For years, the border was a magnet for those seeking a better life in the United States. Now, under a stringent Trump administration crackdown, many migrants find themselves trapped, turning back, or struggling to return home. The dream of crossing north has faded for thousands, replaced by a harsh reality of deportation, closed pathways, and perilous journeys south. This article dives into the latest developments, the human toll, and what's driving this exodus. The numbers paint a stark picture. Border Patrol recorded just 8,300 apprehensions of illegal crossings in February 2025 per Axios, a plunge from the 47,000 logged in December 2024 under Biden's final month. That's a 94% drop from the record highs of late 2023, when crossings soared past 200,000 monthly. Vice President J.D. Vance, visiting Eagle Pass, Texas on March 5th, claimed agents now see just 30 crossings daily, down from 1,500. The reason? Trump's executive actions, effective since his January 20th inauguration, have slammed the door shut on asylum and ramped up deportations. The CBP One app, once a legal entry lifeline for over 1 million migrants, was axed immediately. Mexico's beefed-up interdiction, spurred by Trump's tariff threats, has also choked migrant routes. By early March, shelters in Ciudad Juarez and Tijuana, once overflowing, stood nearly empty, per the New York Times. Yet, this success masks a crisis. Migrants who banked on reaching the U.S. are now stranded, broke, and desperate to reverse course, facing a gauntlet to get home. Take Margelis Rodriguez, a Venezuelan mother of two, stuck in a Tijuana shelter since February. She told AP News her family's CBP One appointment, set for late January, vanished with Trump's policy shift. living in a tent a block from the border wall, she said, "We were so close, but now it's gone. I don't know what's next." Her story echoes thousands. Shelters report migrants abandoning plans to cross illegally, opting instead to wait out Trump's moves or head south. For others, the journey back is treacherous. Caterine Rodriguez, another Venezuelan, gave up after failing to secure a CBP-1 slot. She spoke to the Washington Post in February, describing her plan to return to Colombia via Panama's Darien Gap, a jungle route she'd crossed northbound. "I'd rather face that again than stay here with nothing," she said. Panamanian authorities report a growing wave of southbound migrants, many deported from the U.S. to camps like San Vicente, where over 100 languish, unsure of their fate. Deportations are surging. ICE detention centers hit 117% capacity by mid-March, holding 45,000 migrants, per CBS News. Flights have carried Venezuelans to El Salvador's notorious prisons, Indians to Amritsar in handcuffs, and others to Guantanamo Bay. A U.S. military plane landed in India on February 5th, with over 100 deportees, sparking outrage over their treatment. Daler Singh told Reuters, "Our hands and legs were cuffed the whole flight. They didn't unlock us to eat." Such stories fuel the desperation, driving migrants away from the border. Trump's policies are the catalyst. His inauguration speech promised a national emergency at the border, vowing to halt illegal entry and deport millions. Executive orders suspended asylum for illegal crossers, revived Title 42 to expel migrants as health risks, and canceled humanitarian parole for 530,000 Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. Border Patrol Chief Mike Banks told CBS News, "Anyone crossing between ports since we took office hasn't been released. Instead, they're detained or shipped out fast." Mexico's response amplifies the pressure. After Trump threatened 25% tariffs, Mexico deployed troops to stop migrants and drugs, earning a 30-day reprieve by February 3rd, per the Washington Post. Honduran officials reported 26 Venezuelans and Cubans heading south on February 3rd, citing heavy security as their reason, per Banks' X post. The message is clear. The U.S. is no longer a viable destination. Economic despair compounds the flight. Migrants like Eduardo Medina, who fled Michoacan's violence with his family, told CBS News they can't survive in Mexico's border cities. With no work and shelters stretched thin, many see returning home, however dangerous, as their only option. For Chinese migrants smuggled to Florida, like one woman who spoke to NBC News, new southern border rules push them to riskier sea routes, only to face deportation if caught. Returning isn't simple. Venezuelans face a regime reluctant to accept deportees unless forced, as seen in March 16th flights to El Salvador, brokered with Maduro. Panama's Darien Gap, a 60-mile jungle slog, is a deadly reverse trek. The New York Times reported migrants dumped in Panama camps lack funds or papers to move on. Honduran and Colombian routes are clogged with cartels preying on the vulnerable. A group of 23 migrants turned back by Honduran authorities on February 5th, per Newsweek, shows the scale of this southward drift. Some head north instead. Canada's border saw a spike in U.S. fleeing migrants by March 1st, with RCMP intercepting families in Alberta's snow, per the New York Times. Yet, Canada's beefed-up patrols signal no easy refuge there either. For many, like the Rodriguez family, staying put feels like the least bad choice, a limbo of watching Trump's next move. The border crisis has flipped. Illegal crossings could dip below 300,000 in 2025, a level unseen since 2017, per the Washington Post. Trump's team eyes tent cities for detainees and mass deportation flights, but ICE's strained capacity hints at limits. Mexico's cooperation may waver if tariffs hit, and migrant flows could shift to sea or air routes, as seen with Chinese arrivals in Florida. For trapped migrants, hope dims. Social media buzz on X shows frustration, with users noting they're deporting faster than they can cross. And solar-powered fences sound good, but these folks are already running. The electrified fence idea, whether solar or wind-powered, remains a concept, not a reality. Meanwhile, the human toll mounts. Families like Margelis Rodriguez's cling to tents, while others risk jungles or deportation chains, all desperate to escape a border that's become a dead end. The U.S.-Mexico border, once a gateway, is now a trap for migrants caught in Trump's iron-fisted policies. As of March 27, 2025, thousands flee south or cling to fading hopes, their struggles a stark contrast to the quieted crossings. Solar panels or windmills on a fence might deter future waves, but for those already here, the fight is to survive and get home. This chapter of the border saga is one of desperation, with no clear end in sight. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on the latest developments at the U.S. border.
Esa niña también es otra niña. Ay, con cuidado, con cuidado.
Entering the U.S. via this southern border. That's before that. My crew and I followed a group of these Chinese migrants across South and North America to really get an idea. Is to watch the U.S. border crisis unfolding in front of your own eyes. And get a sense of the reality. Facing these Chinese migrants. After they reach
Tonight, among the unprecedented number of migrants illegally crossing into the U.S. from Mexico,
covered across Ecuador,
a dramatic surge in people from China.
I'm gonna start using the other coast. don't want to say no.
Looks like you're going to be making a right on Calaveras. Right on Calaveras.
Stay right there.
Offender. He's currently on the sex offender registry in New York Street, and then place him under arrest.
You want to see if anybody's over there, Chuck? Yeah, Mark, you.
I'm going right here. ¿Cuántas personas tienen? Well, which one is it? 12, 13 o 14?
Somos 14.
14? ¿Tienes niños?
No.
Vessel was compliant on step 1. Initial count 1-4 POB.
Para ir, ahí la orilla, todo para arriba, ¿ok? ¡Vamos!